Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Captain Mike here. For those that, for my regulars, I'm not going for a ride today. Just want to give you a heads up on what I'm working on. For the past week, I've been working on trying to get MS2020 back in line. Since the SU15 update, I've had nothing but issues. So made a lot of headway with Device Interface Manager 2.0 Alpha that I'm helping to test with Mr. Odom. And this past week I decided to take a look at my throttle quad since that wasn't set up anymore. And I also decided to put this video up for individuals that may have issues trying to get their throttles working with engine reverses that are push button. I couldn't find anything that was helpful that was out there, so I decided to put this together because it took me, believe it or not, 15 hours to get this axis, this reverser, and this reverser to work the way they're supposed to between my flight deck and MS2020 and PMDG. So let's take a look and see how I put all this together. Now first off, the speed brake, as you can see here, does work. This I have set up in MS2020. It worked out just fine. There was no reason for me to go messing with it. Same thing with the flaps. If we take a look at the flaps, they work just fine inside MS2020, so I didn't go messing with that at all for the most part. Each one of the flap settings worked just fine. But when it came to the throttles and the reverses, they were an absolute mess. As you've seen, the throttles do work independently, as do the reverses. And they close all the way down, as they should when they're done. And they work together as well. So that's all good. And these I was not able to get this set up in MS2020 to save my life. It just doesn't work. Period. End of story. I tried all kinds of stuff. That was in part the 15 hours it took just to get these working. I finally gave up and went to FSUIPC7. And as you'll see in the screens that are popping up, this is how I got my throttle quad working the way it does. First up is the throttles. You'll see throttle 1 and throttle 2. Pretty simple to set up in FSUIPC. Next we take a look at the reverses and how they're set up in FSUIPC7. I also have the parking brakes set up inside FSUIPC7. So I'll step on the toe brakes and the parking brake is released, and we'll step on the toe brakes and set the parking brake. As you can see, that brake does work the way it's supposed to. Step on the toe brakes, it gets released. The only thing is mine is not spring loaded, so I have to move that down manually. That's the only difference between here and the real aircraft. But that's working just fine. And as you can see on the screen coming up now, that's how the parking brake is set inside FSUIPC7. Now, I didn't do my stab trim switches just yet, but I do have my idle cutoffs done in FSUIPC7. And as you can see on the 3D display, they do match that of my hardware. And you can see the engine data coming down now on the display that's up on top there. And we can come back up. Alright, so that works. And we'll do the same thing for engine number 2. We'll bring that down. And you can see that'll come back up as well. And these are set up also in FSUIPC7, which you'll see on the next screen. So for those of you that may have been having some issues with getting your throttle set up, I hope this helps you out. This is, I'm using a Leo Bodner board in here, the 0386. So if you have one of those and you're having issues, hopefully this will help you out. And for my regulars, I'm still working on MS2020. I'm hoping to get a ride in real soon. So I'll catch you then, everybody. Take care.